Thank you for coming on short notice. We've previously issued a statement, but for those of you who haven't received it, I will read its essence and then take any questions that you may have. Today, I announced the following suspensions resulting from the actions at the Indiana Pacers and Detroit Pistons game on November 19th. Indiana's Ron Artest has been suspended for the remainder of the season. Indiana's Steven Jackson has been suspended for 30 games. Indiana's Jermaine O'Neal has been suspended for 25 games. Indiana's Anthony Johnson has been suspended for 5 games. Detroit's Ben Wallace has been suspended for 6 games. Detroit's Eldon Campbell and Derek Coleman and Chauncey Billups have each been suspended for 1 game for leaving the bench during an on-court altercation. And Indiana's Reggie Miller has been suspended for 1 game for leaving the bench during an on-court altercation. The penalties issued today deal only with one aspect of this incident, that of player misconduct. The actions of the players involved wildly exceeded the professionalism and self-control that should fairly be expected from NBA players. We must affirm that the NBA will strive to exemplify the best that can be offered by professional sports and not allow our sport to be debased by what seem to be declining expectations for the behavior of fans and athletes alike. There are other issues that the NBA must urgently focus on at this time, and we will. First, we must redefine the boundaries of acceptable conduct for fans attending our games and resolve to permanently exclude those who overstep those bounds. Quite simply, participants in and around the court must be assured complete protection from unacceptable fan behavior. Second, we must re-examine the adequacy of our current security procedures in Detroit and our other 28 arenas. The actions at Friday's games, though unprecedented, must now be factored into all efforts to guarantee the well-being of our fans and players and all in our buildings. Finally, we must develop and implement new NBA rules to assure that the unavoidable confrontations likely to occur in the heat of competition are not allowed to escalate to the level we witnessed on Friday, even prior to the egregious behavior by individuals in the stands.
What was your personal reaction when you saw for the first time what had happened Friday night?
I would say shock and revulsion and fear were my reactions to watching the spectacle that occurred on Friday night at the Palace of Auburn Hills.
She talked about looking at the security situation in all of your arenas. What can you do immediately to address that?
Well, we're in touch with all 29 arenas to assure that they have adequate security in place. But for Friday's event, we were under the steadfast belief that they did, and that may still prove to be the case. If the reality is that our society and our arenas exist based upon a social contract, that if you've got, everyone knows that if 20,000 fans decided to go on a rampage, we'd have a serious problem on our hands, no matter what we did. In addition, I think no matter what security procedures you have in place, you have run a risk that a player can jump into the stands or that fans will behave on an antisocial basis. So we just have to review all of the procedures and really, I think, begin anew to determine what that covenant of civil behavior in our arenas is going to be all about, because we cannot tolerate a repetition of what occurred Friday night in Detroit. I would say that I that to the extent that it was my decision, I did not strike from my mind the fact that Ron Artest has been suspended on previous occasions for the loss of self-control. In addition, I would say that each of the players are going to have to satisfy us that they understand the gravity of what they've done and that we have assurances that it will not be repeated by them. And that may take different forms with respect to different players, but this is something that will definitely be on an agenda. Frankly, we've got a lot of work to do in the next several days and coming weeks, but it is our practice and has been our practice to deal specifically with the discipline itself in a timely fashion, which we have. There may be other wrinkles. You know, I'm sure that someone's going to ask me about the salary cap or some connectivity like that, and I just want to make the point that this is about something much more profound, and it was important for us to get this out. And to your point, we will be expecting the players to be able to assure us in manner satisfactory to us that they're capable of accepting the professional guidelines that come from being and attached to being an NBA player, which is the exercise of self-control and professionalism that was absent here.